7th, 2023 meeting of Mayor and Council. I'm going to ask Councilman Ben Norton to lead us in the invocation. If you'll remain standing for the pledge, we appreciate it.
Let's pray. Father God, we're grateful to you for your presence in our lives, for the blessings you bestowed upon this city. We thank the Lord for this time of the year we celebrate Christ's birth. We pray we have that joy in our hearts daily. We thank you for this evening and the opportunity to serve Valdosta once again. We pray, Lord, that you would be with us as we make decisions as a council and in all things that we do, that your name will be glorified. In your name we pray, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I move on with the approval of the minutes, item 2 of the agenda, I want to stop down to honor departed Councilman Ben Norton, leaving us after 13 years of service to the city up here, guiding so many council people in and out of these seats, and guiding so many city staff, and so wisely guide the city of Valdosta and its growth over the last 13 years as well, and we appreciate you greatly.
Mayor, I second that motion.
All in favor, show of hands. All right, the council's had time to review 2023 and the October 19th regular meetings. Or deletions at this time? Seeing none, they're approved by acclamation. We'll move on to our only public hearing item of the night. Item A, consideration of an ordinance for a conditional use permit for a full-service car wash facility in the community commercial zoning district, as well as the Bay Tree University Corridor Overlay District. Matt Martin will present. Hi, Matt.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. This property, as you know, stated, it's zoned CC. It's in the Bay Tree University Corridor Overlay District. Is at the corner of Bay Tree Road and Miramar Street. The street address is 806 Bay Tree. The zoning map on your screen and in your packet shows the CC zoning pattern and other commercial zonings along Bay Tree Road, particularly as you go westward from this property, out toward the city of Bremerton and the mall. The corridor also runs eastward almost all the way to the BSU main campus. There, the zoning pattern, as you see here, starts to taper off a little bit. Overlay district map is also in your packet, showing that it is really just those properties fronting Bay Tree Road. Character area matches those same patterns. This property and those to the east and west are in the neighborhood activity center. Character area with transitional neighborhood behind it. Aerial imagery shows the subject property as a vacant lot. The history of that property is there in your packet. It used to be R10, used to have 2 houses many years ago. Was rezoned about 9 years ago for speculation purposes for a retail building. A copy of that conceptual site plan is also in your packet. But the property has remained vacant for many years after that. And the applicants purchased the property really just a few months ago. And their proposal is to develop this as a commercial car wash, full service, with the drive-through tunnel. I think it's 17 vacuum stations in the center of the property. Survey in your packet shows a 0.72 acres, almost a perfect square property. Imagery of photographs of the property around it. This is the subject property as it fronts Bay Tree Road. This is looking westward across the property to the existing apartment complex on the west side. Looking back into the property itself, the view westward along Bay Tree Road, an existing car wash that's on the south side of Bay Tree across the street. The east view back down Bay Tree toward the campus area, and then some of the adjacent or across the street residential uses. This is one of 3 rental houses that are to the east along Miramar Street, the apartment complex behind those, and then the view northward up Miramar, and then the 2 single-family homes behind the subject property. The note there, and follow up to our discussion on Tuesday night, this first house is owner-occupied. who also owns the house behind it. According to the tax card information, they live in this one, rent the one further to the north. In your packet is the site plan. It's conceptual in nature. It has not been engineered yet, but it shows the one and only in and out entrance off of Miramar, which for many reasons reflects good site design. The building itself would be along the west property line, adjacent to the apartments. The array of vacuum stations in the center, and then a mostly one-way traffic pattern around the site. Conceptual in nature, it's not perfectly engineered. There will be a few minor alterations that will have to take place to accommodate for a little more landscaping, a little more buffer yard, probably better access to the dumpster area, but essentially this kind of design. In your packet are schematics from the applicant showing the view from Bay Tree Road, the view from Miramar Street, and then a different kind of view that highlights the elevation of the drawings along Bay Tree Road, and then the elevation that faces eastward toward Miramar. As talked about in the packet, the overlay district itself has extra supplemental rules that pertain to the architectural design of any building, as well as some site features. And as we talked about at the work session, there'll be a few minor variances that might be needed, many of which can be approved administratively, but based on hardship with the existing site. But the intent of the overlay district is more pedestrian focus with a good emphasis on aesthetics. With all of that, Planning Commission reviewed this at the meeting on November 27th. They found the request consistent with the comprehensive plan, the standards for conditional use review, which are there in your packet, and they're recommending approval subject to two conditions, and they are as follows. First one is noise reduction features shall be included with the car wash and vacuum machinery as described in the applicant's proposal. A copy of that is there in your packet. Number two, conditional use approval shall expire after 2 years from the date of approval if no building permit for construction has been issued by that date. The applicants are here. I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Matt? Council? Matt, thank you. Okay, this is a public hearing item. Is there anybody that would like to come forward at this time and speak in favor of this request? Please state your name and address.
How's it going?
Good.
Stephen Chicola, 1210 Clover Hill Road. I am speaking in behalf of Crown Development Group. We are the proposed developers for this piece of land and this project on Bay Tree. Just to kind of give an overview of our potential and proposed site, this is an express exterior car wash. So being that difference from what we have in front of us on the adjacent side is more of a kind of self-serve drive-through do-it-yourself. Our goal is to have a new modern, state-of-the-art technology car wash that's going to also mimic and take design from the campus. So obviously we are understanding of what the overlay district has put in place in terms of architectural design. We have pulled a lot of our inspiration from the campus in terms of terracotta roofs, kind of matching. We really want to make sure that it kind of matches and speaks to what the district overlay has laid in front of us in terms of architectural design. In terms of the overall, we understand noise reduction is a key to this, being that we are butting up to some adjacent residential properties. We're going to take in consideration with our landscape buffers, making sure that we have an opaque fence, be it a CMU wall, along with some adjacent landscaping, so therefore we can minimize any noise reduction in terms of for that those abutting residential areas. So our main goal is to provide a new modern car wash here on Bay Tree, but also abiding by the regulations laid out for us in the corridor district, and really start a new standard for what we think Bay Tree should start to grow towards. And we're looking to partner with the university to kind of create some school spirit in terms of getting the project started in the right direction. So we appreciate your time and be happy to answer any questions.
Stephen, it's addressed in the packet, but you obviously have an awesome responsibility for that noise reduction.
Yes, very, very responsible. And we're going to take that in consideration in terms of what they have laid out before us. You know, the north and the west properties, we're going to have plenty of landscape buffer to make sure that we reduce that noise.
Them up on design too.
Yes, yes.
Any questions for Stephen? Stephen, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Again, this is a public hearing item. Is there anybody else that would like to speak in favor of this request? Seeing nobody else in favor, is there anybody that would like to speak out against the
I
request?
just have some questions. We have come and ask questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Robert Shy. I live at 303 Quantock Road.
Hi, Robert.
All right. I guess my question to you, sir, I said I'm not for or against it, but the existing property, there's a car wash across the street. Does that belong to the same company? No. Okay. All right. So I guess that was my concern there, that we're just going to leave that and then just go across the street and do something new there. Okay. All right. So that was my question there. We just didn't want to abandon one property and leave it.
Good concern.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Robert. Is there anybody else that would like to speak out against this request? Name and address.
My name is Jay Blanton, at 4842 Bethany Road. Trying to figure out how to explain my thoughts about this in particular, or that's a really, really residential area, and I can appreciate that there are some very distinct differences between this type of car wash and the one across the road. It's basically redundant, and I do work with car washes in general. I have managed several different types of car washes, whether they be the in-bay self-serve, what he's talking about across the street, express tunnel designs. I have been in more car washes than a lot of people could ever claim to. Did it for service work for many years. When it comes to noise reduction, and this is something that has plagued the owner of the one across the street before, because we had contemplated at one point putting timers on the blowers because there just is no hushing them to the point to make the neighbors happy. And it can go late into the night at times. Now granted, traditionally, most of these car washes close by 7 to 8 o'clock at night, but it's incredibly loud. It's a lot of machinery. You can try to noise reduce a lot, but there just is no finite way to do it perfectly. I see in this rendering they did a very good job by assuming that the vacuums are inside the building to try to help with noise reduction. Kudos to that. I really do appreciate them, again, having that forethought. But it's just a residential area. That whole corridor, all the way to VSU, not so much leading away from it anymore, but that's more or less the cutoff point. Used to be, for any planning a long time ago, stopped at Jerry Jones. A lot of the traffic that's going to be coming into this is obviously going to be coming down Baytree, which is designed for that, but a lot of it's going to be coming through Miramar, that residential area, which is a lot of homes, a lot of apartments, people ingress, egress. This is not my program, this is not my development. Obviously, they've done their research on that, and I can appreciate that. Everybody has their opinion and a view here, and this is just mine. If I was building a car wash, this is not where I'd be building it. Especially know what's coming down the line with the other one being built over there by the mall. There's another company still shopping for more property by the mall to go build one express exterior just like this. So in planning stage, do we want 5 car washes in a mile and a half in such a saturated area? And Valdosta has one of the highest car washes per capita in the southern region here. And we're continue to be building them. And some of those are already past the point of calling that one back to the dock. So that's just my opinion and 2 cents for the matter for y'all to take and render on. Thank you.
Jay, thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak in opposition to this request? Seeing none, I will now turn it over to council for action.
I'd like to make a motion to deny this request.
I have a motion to deny in front of us. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, show of hands. Motion Motion does not carry. We'll move on now to item 4. Motion carries. I apologize. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Item 4, bids, contracts, agreements, and expenditures. Item A, consideration of a request to purchase structural firefighting gear for the Valdosta Fire Department. Our Fire Chief, Brian Boutwell, will present. Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Councilman Norton, thank you for your years of service and always supporting us. I'll miss seeing you up here, but I'll see you in the choir, so. I would like to request for the fire department to continue the process of purchase of 25 sets of structural firefighting gear. We talked about it a little bit Tuesday night. It falls in line with National Fire Protection Association Standard 1971 and also our Cancer Prevention Initiative. And that is to put 2 sets of gear on each firefighter. At 25 sets, we're at $76,775, which is within the budgeted, approved budget for this year. So we have the option to approve the purchase of 25 sets or to deny.
Or anything in between.
Or anything in between.
Any questions?
Any questions?
No questions, Chief, thank you. Council, it's yours for action.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the request as stated.
Second. A motion and a second. Any further comments? All in favor, show of hands. Council, thank you. Motion carries. Another local funding request. Consideration of request improvement. Consideration request for modernization of the elevator at the Valdosta Lowndes Regional Crime Lab. Police Chief Leslie Manahan to present.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, City Manager. And I echo what Chief Boutwell said. Thank you, Councilman, for all your years of service and all you've done for the city. We appreciate you. I'm coming forward tonight requesting to move forward with much needed updates for the elevator at the Lowndes Regional Crime Laboratory. Our elevator was inspected earlier this year and it does not meet the safety codes that just came out earlier this year from the state. These safety codes deal with the sensors and the equipment that actually handle the doors. We have until December of 2025 to update the elevator, or we could face fines or they could shut our elevator down. So we did receive 2 quotes from the only 2 companies that work on our brand of elevator. The quotes were from Maori Elevators at $64,500 and the other was for TKE for $76,172. Earlier this year for FY24, Council did approve $65,000 in the general fund. So we're asking to go ahead and move forward with Maori to get them started on our repairs in the amount of $64,500.
Council, any questions for Chief? Chief, thank you.
Thank you.
Council, please again for action.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve this request as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further comments? All in favor, show of hands. Council, thank you. Motion carries. Now we'll move on to local funding request. Consideration of request to approve the Valdosta On-Demand Safety Plan in accordance with the Federal Transit Administration when expending 5307 grant funds. Larry Ogden, our fantastic Public Works Administrator. Larry, how you doing?
Good evening, sir.
Fantastic.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Councilman Norton, hope you enjoy your retirement. Wish you many years of success. Yes. I'm here to present about the Valdosta On Demand transit system. This is an annual renewal of the proposal for the grant 5307. Every year we must renew it if any changes come about. The only changes that took place this year was some changing of some signatures from the old city manager to the new city manager and the old public works director to myself, and everything else pretty much remained the same with some minor changes, like I said, the signatures and names of individuals.
Any questions from Larry? Sounds simple. Larry, thank you.
Thank you.
Council, here's for action.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the request as presented.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, show of hands. Council, thank you. We'll now move on to the citizens to be heard portion of the evening. We ask that you come forward and state your name and address so we may have it for the record. Our policy requires you to stay under 3 minutes so that others have time to be heard. Please direct all comments to council as a whole and do not attempt to engage individual members of council in debate. It is our policy to follow through with you and your concern almost immediately. Additionally, we ask that any groups that want to address the council designate one spokesperson. Again, I will ensure that others have time to be heard. With that being said, are there any citizens to be heard tonight? Please come forward. Again, state your name and address.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, city manager. My name is Mark Glover, and I hail from Orlando, Florida. My address is 6113 Blakeford Drive, Windermere, Florida, 34786. I come to you this afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity with a couple of my colleagues to discuss some opportunities that we see with regard to the Hurricane Idalia recovery. We are large loss consultants. We've assisted several municipalities throughout the country, as well as we represent the entirety of the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and some other large municipalities post the storm. What we see is that the city of Valdosta is possibly underutilizing some of the recovery opportunities for both the private insurance as well as the public insurance components. What we know is that best practices says that per the Stafford Act, municipalities must pursue any and all insurance opportunities prior to receiving one dime from the feds. We have FEMA experts, we have large loss insurance experts, both of them are here with me this night, and what we like to do is request an opportunity to participate in your next workshop in January, where we can delve more deeply into this. My grandfather was a Methodist minister, as I articulated earlier, so I'm going to make sure that I make this a little bit short because I'm not Baptist. But with that, I think I got 1 minute and 32 seconds left, so I think I'm within the time frame. Unless one of my colleagues wants to stand up for something.
Mark, thank you.
I'll try to keep this very, very brief to keep within the time. It goes to investigate. Oh, so sorry, Brian Rothring. We're at 1333 3rd Avenue South, Suite 407, Naples, Florida. It begins with the investigation with world-class experts, which are then incorporated into an estimate and then submitted in a comprehensive package to the insurance company. With the whole team together, it meshes together with the FEMA component. It's not one and then the other. It's a combined effort here. Scott, you want to talk about FEMA very briefly?
I might be able to say some of this. We can take a meeting with you guys in the near future. We'd love to hear what you had to say.
I think that would be probably the best way to do such a thing.
I think everybody else understands what you guys do.
Okay.
We appreciate you very much.
Okay.
Okay with that, guys? Yeah,
okay. Well, thank you very much.
Well, perfect. Sometimes it's best to say nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Are there any other citizens wishing to be heard at this time tonight?
George Austin Rhymes, 5004 Oak Drive, Valdosta, Georgia. This evening I was at Peyton Park, and I know you all are getting tired of me talking to the county and city about this issue. I was just sitting there waiting for this meeting to begin, and there was children playing in the park, and I noticed 2 little girls went to use the bathroom, and their doors were locked. I watched them pull on the bathroom doors, and they started to go in the back to use the bathroom. And from a distance, I took a safe picture. The parents, it looked like their parents or guardians, came and got them, and they got in the car and left. I'm going to ask again, and I will be probably doing a written mandamus to the county and city to demand that you all give us a response in terms of why our children cannot have a bathroom in the playgrounds in Valdosta, at the parks. And I hate to say this, I don't know anything else to say, but there may be a possibility that you need to take the swings down close the tracks, because the bathroom go with exercise and running. Scott Park the same way. And so I don't know the answer to it. I know crime is high. But I promise you, I will no longer just stand before you for the last 2 years talking about this. I will be doing a request to Superior Court in the very near future, under the guidance of a legal person that knows what needs to be done, that the children in Valdosta, especially during the summer months, and you know I was up here, not because of me, my children are all grown, but it's something inside of me that tells me that when I was in the military, I had to follow the code of conduct. And just because I took off that uniform after 21 years, I'm not going to ignore your children, nor coming generations. I want them to have what other children have in other cities, and it's just that simple. And if you all don't do anything about it, not just the city, the county, I believe, and I rest almost 100% certain, that eventually we will elect people into office that will meet the needs of these people, our children. And if some of you all choose to try to make me look bad after I take my seat, I promise you I'll respond to you on my video on Boston G.B.R. channel, because I don't play games. Thank you very much.
Are there any other citizens wishing to be heard at this time? Seeing none, I'll close out that portion and move on to the city manager's report.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. So since you had your ceremony, and you're definitely going to be missed. All the things that you've done, everything that you've approved as you've done so tonight has made a major difference for the city and our citizens, and we appreciate that. And so good luck and Godspeed. Thank you, sir. We have a lot going on remaining of this month. A lot of activities going on throughout the city, downtown. Tomorrow we will have our Christmas parade. It was rescheduled from last week, starting at 6 o'clock. December the 9th, 10 a.m. on Main Street, Maker's Market at the historic Courthouse Square. December the 9th at 11 a.m. This is a 3-part event. It begins at Millstone Plaza in Lake Park. It's our annual Tours for Tots. You gather there, toy collection will commence from there. They will be escorted by the Post 31 Georgia State Patrol through Lake Park, followed by the Lowndes County, and parading through the city of Valdosta and colluding at 5 points. December 18th at 6 p.m., we will have at Walmart on Norman Drive, and finishing it up after Christmas. Everyone needs to dispose of those fancy Christmas trees that you purchased. Bring one to take place at the Matheson City Auditorium, and the time frame is the 27th of December to. That's all.
Sure, thank you. Move on to council comments and their 31st annual toy ride. That one happens on December 16th on a Saturday. They'll leave at 1:30. They'll bless the bikes at 1:50. They'll leave from the Lake Park, the Roger Bud Lake Park outlets, and ride straight up 41 to 5 points, where they'll have a ceremony, drawings, and celebration at the end. It's an annual event that does so much good for the needy children in our community. Mayor, council, and staff will be bell ringing on Thursday, December 14th, out in front of Winn-Dixie. We'll be there all day in shifts. Please come by and give to the Red Kettle and the Salvation Army generously as well. And then to everybody here and everybody that's watching, Merry Christmas to everybody. We hope to see you at the parade tomorrow evening. Thank you. Councilman.
Councilman Owen, we want to wish you the best. Thank you for your leadership and commitment to our community. I know what it's like 6 years into this. I cannot imagine 12. 13. No cheating. I know. But I do appreciate your guidance. Sometimes, your wisdom, how to handle things, how to see things from a different viewpoint. And I appreciate that a lot, especially whenever I was new into this, and I do appreciate that. And I'm sure that you have that little baby that you're going to be, grandbaby of yours, that you're going to be spending all this extra time with now. So.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Yes, Tim.
Well, of course, I said most of what I was going to say at our ceremony across the street earlier today from Ben. But Ben and I have served together all 13 years that he's been in office. And as I mentioned earlier today, being a member of council, we're all individuals, and we all generally come to the table with wanting to do good for our city. But in the end of the day, we've got to be able to work together, and you've always been a great person to work with on a variety of easy issues and tough issues. And, you've always done it with honesty and integrity. You've always done the right things for the right reasons for our community as a whole, and I'm going to miss that, Lenny.
Eric?
It's that time of year again. Y'all remember, there are a lot of people out here less fortunate than us. You see them, give them a meal, give them a blanket, anything that you can do to help. Now, it's always going to be good that I can ride around the corner, walk around the corner to see if I need some advice, because I know you're going to keep looking at these agendas when you have time. So just know that you're not a person. That's right. You represent the way. You represent the way. So just know that you won't get away.
Councilman Rules up.
Yeah, I did my best shot. I worked with Ben for obviously 13 years. I can say he's not a person that's not a council member, works for the council. And you represented your citizens very well. Done it in dignity, done the class, and a lot of professionalism. A fantastic job that I always been going to get achieved in today's society. So thank you for what you've done for your constituents. It's a hard job for everybody, but it's
With all that said, if there's any outgoing councilmen that want to make a motion to adjourn.
If you indulge me just a second.
Absolutely.
I read this speech across the street, but I want to do it again. And I won't be able to get through it. It's a petition or two. That's all. As the employees of Chick-fil-A say, I've used this already this week one time. It's been my pleasure. Years behind this desk and starting to pass quickly. I'm very humbled to realize that the citizens of Valdosta entrusted their reputation in part to me. And I pray that the mutual decisions that are made or have been made in this great hall have given all the citizens an opportunity to have a better quality of life here in Valdosta. It has been a great pleasure. To my wife Donna, Tom, and stepfather who are here tonight, thank you for your encouragement and your unwavering support. Donna, it seems like yesterday we stood right down here. I was 48 years old. It seems like really young. 61 seems really young. To take my first time taking the oath of office, what a humbling experience that was. And now, tonight, we go home together, 61 years old, and grandfather. Who could have imagined the blessings that we would receive in these 13 years. I look forward to the next 13 and more. Love you, Bobby. To the remarkable people who make up Team Valdosta, you are second to none because our city is second to none. You You keep this city running on a daily basis. Something that I truly used to take for granted, but not anymore. The city employees and staff have proven themselves through rough times and times of challenge. Through times of ease and times of challenge. That more can be accomplished when we check our titles at the door, roll up our sleeves, and work together. I thank you for your dedication that continues to make Valdosta the shining city that it has become. You are all heroes, and I applaud you today. So I'm going to applaud again because they deserve this award. And to the citizens of Valdosta, it's been my honor and pleasure to serve you, although I can't name the many people that supported me during 4 successful campaigns and 2 successful runoffs. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Dan and Charlotte Davis, who were one of 2 couples who encouraged and supported me initially and throughout these 13 years. To the late Boy Taylor for his encouragement and his support. Thanks for keeping me focused. I sure miss those talks with Roy. To Roger Budd III and his staff for working with me to have billboards that help get my name out there during the elections. I'm very grateful. To a dear friend, Mary Blocker and Barbara Schmader, who relentlessly teased me about my little car and my big signs. And those 2 ladies tirelessly put out signs during campaigns and then went back and collected them all. And they're older than 61, so I really appreciate that. And to Go Green, who's here tonight, thank you for sharing your strategic planning, your knowledge, and your friendship, and I'm forever in your debt. And to this mayor and council, to those members who have moved on to other tasks and greater rewards, it's been my pleasure to work with you all. I'm proud to I'll call you all friends. So I'll get sidetracked, because that's what a good city is. It's about having close friendships, and we're all different. We come from different backgrounds, different career choices, different religions. But by working together, coming up with something that's hopefully for the greater good of the citizens of Valdosta, strong friendships can be made. To Tim Carroll, you have been made Stephen Chaseman. Our dear friend and colleague Sonny Vickers moved on to a heavenly reward. And you have become the most respected colleague and friend to me. I appreciate your sharing your insight and knowledge and support over the years. You think when you're elected, you know everything about the seat, and you don't, right? You don't have a clue. You know some things, but you don't have a clue. And it takes colleagues who will work with you to help you become that representative that you need to be. So lean on each other. Tim, thank you for letting me lean on you. You're an example that all council members should follow. And I thank you. So with that said and done, I'll leave you with a prayer that God will continue to bless you all, citizens, staff, council members, mayor, as you work together to make our home, this great city of Valdosta, a better place than you found it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Second. All in favor? Thank you, everybody.
Get one last
I'm just gonna stand with
Okay.
you. It's gonna be real short. Let's step up.
Okay. we're gonna do one more thing.
It's Commissioner.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Councilman Norton, I just want to say to you, I've been here for a long time, and I watched you when you first got on, and I want to commend you for your professionalism. I don't know of another council member except Mayor Rainwater that I respect as much as I do you. As short form as a Getto Free Press, I've been hard on council members, but I wasn't hard on you. You have always, beyond question, represented this city in a manner that I wish many people would. So I just commend you, and I don't want you to leave without me saying that.
I appreciate that very much. And I appreciate you coming before us like you did tonight, representing people who don't have a voice for themselves or feel like they can't speak out, because everyone really can. But you've been that representative, and I think that's a heavenly calling, and I appreciate you following through with that.
Peace be unto you,
sir.
and God bless.
Bless you, sir.
Peace be unto you.
Thank you.
This is Getto Free Press. I'm George Buster Rhymes, and